Welcome back to another episode from my survival series. I'm over here at the farmer village right now because I'm trying to get some emeralds and also trying to repair my tools after that very long time lapse of gathering wood. And the reason why I need those emeralds is to gather the last material that I need for the Nether tunnel. And to actually get that material, I need to go over to trade with my masons. And I don't think I have enough emeralds currently to get all the blocks that I need. So I'm over here trading a bit. I almost managed to repair my pick and my axe. They're kinda there, so I'm gonna go grab a couple of more pumpkins and melons, trade with these guys, and then head over to the Mason village to trade the last part that I need for the tunnel. Also, the fact that I have to keep flying back and forth between my mountain and the farmer village reminds me that I definitely need to make an automatic melon and pumpkin farm somewhere here, so like that I don't have to keep going back and forth. And because I know the trick with the ender pearl now, I can probably drop an ender pearl down next to the farm and I'll be able to just get melons and pumpkins all the time. And the last item that I need is going to be bricks. I don't feel like I have enough emeralds for the amount of bricks that I'm going to need for that tunnel, but at least I'm gonna have some to start. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how the tunnel is going to look like, and then if I have to, then I will just come back and gather a few more and then complete it. Because I would rather get the tunnel started rather than procrastinate again, don't do anything and just complain that I don't have the materials. There is actually one good news, and that is that I don't necessarily need the full bricks and I only need slabs. So at least that's going to double the resources that I'm gonna make out of this. So we'll see if that's gonna be enough in the end. And because I was talking about making a farm with ender pearls, let's check on our ice farm, because I've been actually in the nether for a pretty long time now. And I've been flying back and forth through here, so it looks like this is almost finished over here. And it does look like the ice farm has now about 4 rows, if I were to guess. I think that's 4 rows. So considering I've been in the world back and forth between the nether and stuff, it seems to be pretty decent. There's actually only 3 rows, not 4. But the 4th one is getting started there. And I think I also mentioned the last episode that I had to re-trigger the pearls, but it doesn't seem that that's the case on single player. So I think that's only the case for servers, that if you log out, the pearl won't work anymore to load your chunks. But it does seem like the pearls actually do work for a single player, which my world is. So I'm really happy that I don't have to constantly replace the pearls around the world. And that means that I'll be able to build a few more farms with the same loading mechanic, and it's going to make it a bit easier to actually get farms going. I don't know if I necessarily want to build too many of these, because I kind of feel lag spikes, and I believe that some of them are because the farm's being loaded, since every time this clock runs, the pistons are going to trigger, so there's going to be a lot of updates happening in my world. So this is probably not that bad because it's only 2 chunks being loaded, but I'm afraid that if I'm going to use this with a lot more farms, I think that's going to be pretty bad. So that could be an idea where I could design some farms that all fit into one chunk, go from build height all the way down to the bedrock level. And like that I can only load them with 1 pearl, so it's gonna be only 1 chunk loaded rather than a lot of them. So maybe that's something that I'll be looking into the near future. I need to say that I'm also happy that I kind of overdid the wood farming when I was building the tree, and I have a lot of logs left over here, so I didn't have to actually gather all the oak wood either. But there was a good bit of farming of basalt, and there was a good bit of farming of spruce, so I'm really hoping that that's going to be enough for what I need for this tunnel. So let's fly over to the starter house over here, go through the portal and show you exactly how this tunnel design is going to look like. So I did drop some of the materials over here that I need, and then these are going to be the next batch. I did farm all the spruce wood because I needed barrels and spruce fences, and I know that barrels technically I could have used any type of wood, but I feel like the spruce one is the easiest to get out of all of them just by manually chopping it. So what I will have to do over here is drop down my ender chest, grab my stone cutter, I will place it over here, and I will start with doing the bricks first because they are kind of the first layer that I need to place down. So they are going to be something like this. So it's going to be on both sides. They're all going to be half slabs on the ice, so like that I can still boat through the ice without having to worry about slowing down of the blocks that are here. Then on this side over here, I decided that I want to have one step, and then it's going to be something like that. I made it this way just because like that I can come in with the boat and I don't have to jump. I can just walk like a staircase basically without having to worry about it. And I feel like it looks pretty decent. So I'm gonna place a few of these slabs like that, just to show you the design basically. And I'm going to be breaking these over here. There's definitely going to be a lot of breaking of blocks. Then I'm going to grab a stack of barrels, some of these. So the barrels are going to be over here. Let's see if I can place this properly. So the barrel is going to be something like that. Don't really know what's going on there. I hope they're not after me. So I'm gonna have a line of barrels like this on pretty much both sides. Then on top of the barrels, I'm gonna have the basalt that I gathered. Luckily, the farm that I built is actually working pretty good, so I didn't have to be there for too long. And I also had a bit stashed from last time I needed some basalt. That was really good. Then on top of this, I decided that I'm gonna be doing some spruce fences. This is purely so I can still see into the nether. I wanted a tunnel that didn't take away everything from the nether. I still wanted to feel like I am in the nether. So preserving views in tunnels is actually something that I really like. Some of them do feel like they need to be fully enclosed. And obviously they're going to be, because I'm not going to break into this whole netherrack over here. But wherever I have open nether, I wanted to preserve that, so I decided that using fences is actually a good way to do it. Because getting glass right now is a bit too much, because I only have the one villager. So I definitely need to work on that. So for the time being, I'm just going to use the fences, and they definitely do the job. On top of the fences, we pretty much have another row of basalt over here. And then on top of that, we have, you guessed it, another row of barrels. So this is pretty much a mirror that's done like this onto the wall. Let's place one over here as well. And then for the ceiling, we have the bricks again. Like I said, it's pretty much the same situation that I had on the bottom. We only see the lines of the barrels over here, which I really like. I don't want to see the whole barrel. It would look a bit off. For example, if I would put the slab a bit higher, you could see all the barrel, and I don't feel like seeing both of those lines. I feel like everything is a big line anyway. So just having it like that, it's plenty. And then the last part of the ceiling is going to be another layer of basalt going this way, which is pretty much going to match the sides. So whenever you're gonna go straight with the boat, I tested this in a creative world, it actually looks really cool. One thing that I was debating though, and maybe you can let me know down in the comments if you agree with this and if you'd want to see this, or is it better without. I was thinking to add some trapdoors over here, and specifically oak trapdoors. So like that, this is going to blend a bit better with this area over here. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm fully sold on that. So like I said, let me know down in the comments which one would you like most. And one last thing that I forgot to say is that I'm going to be adding rails on all this ice. So right now I do have torches because I didn't want any mobs spawning. But I'm going to be adding rails, so I'll be able to transport mobs with a minecart if I have to. and I'll also be able to still place down my boat to actually go really fast through the tunnel, which is pretty much the idea of it. And this is pretty much how it looks like after placing just a couple of blocks. That was pretty much a stack of everything more or less, and it got me this far. So I'm really hoping that is going to be enough to get over to the other portal, but we'll see how that's gonna go. So enjoy a bit of a montage slash time lapse of how this build fully turned out and how it looks like from the outside. And I am back after about 2 hours of building. I managed to run out of materials. And I actually did a fairly decent project. I was definitely not expecting to finish the tunnel with the resources that I had, but I wasn't expecting to get that far. The portal is literally just there, so I'm almost done with all the basalt and the bricks. I do have to add a lot more barrels and definitely a lot more fences. But I don't think it's gonna take me much more to finish this, because I think the hardest part was to actually go through the tunnel where I had to dig everything. Because once I actually managed to get here in the open area, it was much faster. You can see by my pick, it's more than halfway done now, and I definitely forgot that I will have to mine all this. So to show you how it looks like now, I will be able to actually fly through a bit now. There's definitely some mobs spawning here and there, which is definitely not ideal. But I'm gonna add the rails down as well, because I don't want these to spawn and forget about them. Now I know they're spawning because I was building the tunnel, but I will probably come back in a week or two, forget about this and get killed by them. So I'm definitely gonna go grab some iron, grab some more wood, and place down all the rails. Even though I don't have the powered ones, at least I'm gonna place just normal rails like I did on the tunnel above the nether. And that should stop the mobs, and it should make the tunnel functional. Welcome back to another episode of me building tunnels. Just joking, but I am definitely finally finished with this tunnel after a good few trips going back to the overworld, grabbing a good few materials, and realizing a really big flaw in this tunnel. Some of you probably already noticed what's over here on my left side of the screen. And that is that I replaced the fences with some gates, because I forgot that they are flammable and lava burns them. By the looks of it, even fence gates burn. So I think I'm gonna have to come up with something else, probably some nether wood, and replace it with that. Honestly, I think I might actually have to replace the whole thing. I don't feel like I would like that, to just have a bit of nether wood just where the lava is. So maybe instead of replacing the fences and all that, maybe I will just go and destroy that lava pocket that's up there that creates this lava flowing down, and maybe that's gonna fix it rather than trying to come up with weird solutions. By the way, is this burning of fences and gates a thing only in the nether? Because I can swear I've been using lava on top of fence gates and they were never burning. Is this a nether thing? Do you guys know? And now, because the tunnel is fully complete, I can actually place down a boat and actually go and travel with it. And it's actually looking really cool traveling to the tunnel. I do have to make one more stop where I added some fence gates, because I had the exact same issue happen. I believe it was somewhere here, yes. So let's hop off. And I do have to figure out how to get to that lava as well. So let's break this. And break that. Don't look at Enderman if possible. Don't fall down either. Oh. Okay. That was much closer than I would have liked it to be. But that was not the lava we were looking for. Let's try to get somehow up there. Don't know from how far this actually is coming from, but it looks like it was just there, so that was a lucky one. So never break blocks underneath you, especially in the nether. Place this fence down, but actually let's place that down and then the fence. And that should clear the lava, yes. I crafted a few more fences over here to replace the fence gates. I don't know why I didn't think of this the first time around to just remove the lava. I guess I just liked how the light looks like. And now we can just ride all the way to the end. It's such a satisfying thing to travel on ice. And once I actually put the blue ice, it's gonna be even faster than this. Yes, ignore my mess. Also, I'll probably add the cactus over here so I don't have to bother breaking the boat every single time. So like that is just gonna drop into a hopper, I can grab it and that's it, rather than having to, you know, kind of figure out how to deal with this and all that. So I'll probably do something of the lines where I'm gonna have a cactus with a hopper and then a dispenser with a pressure plate on it. I'm gonna hop on the pressure plate and then that's gonna put the boat down and I'm just gonna go, so I don't have to always place and break and always mess with the boat, right? So yeah, this is finally the tunnel fully complete. This is how it looks like when I fly. I can fly over on this one, or I can fly like this. There's a good bit of space, to be completely honest. If I don't come with too much of a speed around here, I can pretty much go like this. So it's a pretty decent sized tunnel. Obviously it could be bigger, but I would say for my first nether tunnel and coming up with a design that kind of works, I feel like it turned out pretty well. I definitely have to make some of those bigger farms. Maybe once I make a bartering farm, I'll make something out of blackstone. And I do have to say that this slightly annoys me. And maybe I'll consider to put one of those, was that like a chiseled basalt? I don't know how it's called. Just put that in here in this corner. It's literally just this corner because it's just the inside. You can't see it on the outside corner. I guess you kind of can, but it's not the same as you see this side over on this one. So yeah, I'm happy this is finally done. It's been a good few couple of hours. It was definitely much longer than I thought it would be, but I'm really happy and I'm really pleased that I kind of stuck with it and I finished the whole thing. And having the boat now to travel around is going to be so fast and convenient. I don't have to use rockets, no elytra durability. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I appreciate you being here. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, make sure you leave them down below. And until next time, happy crafting!